At its June 22nd, 2009 regular meeting, the City of DeKalb City Council is scheduled to instruct the city manager to begin a layoff process involving 6 employees covered by the fire and ASME unions. 3 employees from each of these 2 bargaining units will be laid off if those unions and the city cannot come to terms on wage concessions that would allow for a balanced budget for fiscal year 2010. The city has worked diligently with all other unions to see if they would agree to wage concessions in order to avoid layoffs. The city has offered a guarantee of no involuntary layoffs if in exchange the unions agree to a wage freeze for the upcoming year. I am happy and pleased to report that as a result of a meeting we had yesterday with an arbitrator selected by the city and the police union, we believe an order that includes a wage freeze component will be issued in the very near term that will satisfactorily address the city's economic concerns, thereby avoiding the need to lay off police officers on July 1. In addition, there will be no layoffs from the 34 management-related employees since they too have agreed to a wage freeze for fiscal 2010. Unfortunately, and to date, the other 2 unions, Fire and ASME, have not agreed to this. The city's budget was prepared in anticipation of a wage freeze agreement being reached between the city and the unions. Without such an agreement, the only other available alternative to balance the budget will be to reduce our overall workforce in those areas. Because of this, then the council is scheduled to direct me at its June 22nd meeting to institute the layoff process for those 2 unions. The rest are quotes from the mayor. I don't know, Mayor, if you want to say something on the microphone.
You want me to go ahead?
Yeah, why don't you do that?
The city management staff and our police officers have taken the lead and agreed to a wage freeze to help balance the budget. I believe they've recognized that it's the only right to follow in the footsteps of what many of our citizens are facing in terms of wage freezes and a pay reduction. I'm still hopeful, however, that our other union employees will recognize the same thing and come to an agreement before our action on Monday night. I'm concerned for the families of the employees being laid off and that their fellow employees seem to be interested in keeping intact their wage increases during a time when many of us around the country are doing without. I do not want to lay off employees or see a reduction in our services, but it appears that the council may be left with no other choice.
I'm not at liberty yet to discuss with you the terms of our tentative agreement with the police union. I'm still waiting for the printed order from the arbitrator, but I will tell you that it doesn't include a wage freeze component. I will be sharing this with council once I receive it. If everything plays out the way I believe it will, then as part of the approval of the agenda for the 7 o'clock meeting on Monday night, the 22nd, I will ask that the item related to the police union, item K4, be removed from the agenda.
Will a different resolution be put in its place?
What will come back eventually then would be a contract between the city and the FOP that has the terms of it.
But that would come at a later date?
A later date.
Okay. And how much savings overall would the layoff of the 6 employees bring?
Still calculating that. What rate?
Well, I haven't had a chance to work on it since we had the negotiations last night.
Okay.
Right. Because all the numbers changed now.
Yeah, all the numbers have changed.
We had
last night.
Many productive months of discussions and negotiations leading up to a 6-hour session yesterday, concluding at about 6:30 last night with this tentative settlement.
So that's with police? Was the meeting last night?
With police.
Okay. And do you know what positions those 6 employees being laid off hold within AFSCME and the fire union?
With the way it depends on the contract. Okay. With the fire contract, it's the 3 least senior individuals.
Okay.
With AFSCME, it's a little different on how you do that. That's something myself and the department heads are looking at.
Okay.
It's not necessarily the least three of the 70-odd people. It's not necessarily just these three senior people.
Would they come from a specific department, from Public Works or?
Again, I'm evaluating that with the department heads. I would make a decision at a later date. Again, though, I hope I don't have to.
Mhm.
As the mayor indicated, we're hopeful that both ASME and Fire will approach us with an acceptable proposal that meets our economic concerns, that includes a wage concession.
Do you have any more meetings scheduled with either of those unions?
Management has given those two unions its latest counter proposal. We've not had a response back from them. I believe you will, but if you can really make sure you tout the meeting, the new location of the meeting, so that people can, we'll put signs here in case people don't get the message. But
And parking just in the regular high school parking lot, I assume? Okay.
any other questions?